Basher Ridge is waiting to celebrate here at Peter Maritzburg College. Goldstones Field, if I can get the words out of my mouth. 20 points to 5, Glenwood lead Maritzburg College. There's the inside center for the green machine, JC Conradi, a man who scored the first try of the match. Always a pleasure to watch the schoolboy chants. These guys get into it. The spirit of schoolboy rugby is always alive in South Africa, and it's great to have it on your screens on the SuperSport, your world of champions. Collier gets us back underway. Always hanging the kicks high, giving his players a chance to put pressure on the Glenwood receipt, and they've done just that. They should have trapped them in the 22-meter line, but a great breakout, an interplay from Glenwood involving Jonker and Slubbert. Takes them well outside of their 22-meter line, and numbers on the left. Back to the inside is the way that he goes, and a great break is coming here from Luzolo. They could not finish it off though, Glenwood. Throwing it into touch.
Oh, you should hang around with Jonker. He's the man who sprays that ball. Just to pass a bit above them. But what I enjoy about the way Glenwood play as they're interlinking and interplay between the forwards and the backs, just the pass they're letting him down. You can see his fingers dipping under. And that way his shoulder sort of let it higher than the position was aiming to.
Well, they still have their number 7 throwing into the lineouts, Maritzburg. And an interesting turn of events. Brendan now, great pressure from Maritzburg here, winning the ball back. Now driving over the ruck inside the Glenwood half. Rarefied air for the Maritzburg side in this match so far. Driving it into contact, Ethan Hodgson. And Sima Mane. Mansburg not doing themselves any favors right now, well behind the advantage line, and Glenwood have the opportunity to attack this breakdown. Not enough numbers, and Sima Mane can clear. That is a big hit on Ethan Hodgson. He's been chopped down. That Conan Lafleur, the hitman, the South African chiropractor.
Oh, Conan Lafleur. Oh, what a great tackle, but he was from the offside position. But it's a good read from him. It's a bit of a rib tickler.
That it is, on a prop forward as well. He does not back down for anyone, does Conan Lafleur. Here he is, the man in shot. SA Schools, as has been mentioned already. Plenty of promise from this young man. This is a lineout on the Glenwood 22-meter line for Maritzburg. The lineout has not been functioning like a well-oiled machine as yet. Let's see how this one goes. Once again, it has been uncleanly taken. Looked like it was a knock-on. The man taking it was Wandile Klope. And a penalty coming Maritzburg's way. A touch of fortune about that.
You okay?
A positive start to the second half for Maritzburg.
They're in the right side of the field, and I think this will encourage them. They really need to strike first in the first 5 minutes. Well competed in the front there by Kate Esterhuizen, gets there in front of Kloppe. And then Kloppe comes back at the game by pilfering the ball back to his side.
More complication at the lineup, but this time it is taken right at the back and on the fingertips.
That is obstruction there. The ball carrier has to make contact.
Well, that is desperately unfortunate for Maritzburg. The tap and go from Glenwood. They're full of confidence. Inside ball and charging down the field. That was Jean Roux. Jonker gets it away, and then was Jonas giving it on. Lafleur turning on the afterburners. Inside ball, perhaps. No, he doesn't need anybody. Conan Lafleur in for his second try.
Oh, special play from Glenwood. Special player stood up there. Jonker's inside ball to Jean Roux, and the way that he recycled that ball
before the ball gets transferred
to put the hands away.
Has to make contact with the green player first.
This is coast to coast. Look at what Jonker does, keeps the ball alive. Jonas drawing him past. Now it was Conan Lafleur. Steps onto the inside as an over-tracking defender. And it's his brace. It's a second try for the young man. Turning on the style is Glenwood here.
He's starting to find their form, Kobani, and as mentioned before, this is their first proper match of the rugby season, having played a couple of Chukka-style matches before. Pre-season.
Well, they'll be disappointed they've lost their captain, and it seems that Mube won't be joining us for the second half. Kate Esterhuizen will be coming on for him. And another man who's limping is the number 5 lock, Werner Kutsia.
Hendricks has pushed that to the right. I'd already counted those points. He has been a superb kicker so far this afternoon. 25 points to 5 it remains.
Oh, drawing him past the last man now. It was up to him to back his pace. Aces School Center, you know that he's going to back himself. And that's Conan Lafleur for his second.
Appears to be growing in confidence, Mr. Lafleur. This is Collier. He gets us back underway. Similar kickoff to all of those that he's put up thus far. Not as much height perhaps on it. And Glenwood once again are able to get passes away before the defenders arrive. Crunching contact on Reynard Jonker, the number 10 for Glenwood. Sets a good rack, and Hendricks proficient with the box kick. Gets it to the touchline. That's the captain of Maritzburg. Ono has got a foot on the line. Very disappointing, unfortunate. He was pressed up right against the touchline and could not keep it in the field of play. Line on to Glenwood, right on the halfway line.
Jaden Hendricks has been the difference in the side, especially with his kicking game. You can see that he takes a whole lot of responsibility from Jonker in terms of where they want to play in the field. And again, it was his long raking kick inside his half. And has got them to this position.
Ruan Olivier to feed. Cade Esterhazen rises up to receive, but as you could see on your screens, that drifted away from the center line and therefore thrown out straight. Scrum down to Maritzburg. It's certainly time for Maritzburg to start building something in this match. Just as Glenwood ran the length of the field to score that try through Lafleur, Maritzburg were beginning to look more positive.
Well, we can see that outside arm, really giving it away for the referee to call a crooked throw. If he quick tapped it off the top, he might have got away with it.
Sit.
And that does always help. And Maritzburg found a way to hold their own in the scrum battle. They can only go back 1.5 meters according to school rules, so they're doing well to hook the ball quickly now. And Sima Mane is met in a hit. It did look like a legal one, brought to ground very well by Jonker. Maritzburg keeping it tight now. Sima Mane rising up to play half back again. They go to the right-hand side. Skip pass, trying to work past the numbers of inside defenders by Glenwood, who had the men numbered up. Ethan Hoyer is the man who takes it to ground. That is Spa Dube. Sorry, Wandile Hlope, the man who gave it off. Sima Mane, back to the right-hand side now. No holes in the Glenwood defense. Everything backwards, everything legal, and on we go. Maritzburg setting another rack. Hlope with a pick and go to the right-hand side. Protected by Hoyer. Nieuwerse substituting at halfback. Maritzburg are keeping it very close to the rack, but not making any meters really. Sending it wide now, Collier. And they've got numbers in the back line through the hands of Pikeni. Right to the right wing, Ace Svanda Ziva, who's hanging out on the left wing right now. Big hit has left the man on the ground, and Mansburg get the ball back after a bit of scrappy play. Once again, it's Pinkeni.
Okay, hold it. No advantage, lost forward.
All sorts of action there. Kobani eventually leading to a scrum down to Maritzburg in the Glenwood half. And you can hear the Maritzburg supporters starting to rise to this team as they get into this rugby match.
They're playing it right on the half of Glenwood with their little kicking plays, and they've been going wild for a bit. Just the difference between the two sides. Physicality of Glenwood and the way that they're using their presence to dominate the space, and it is the man on the floor, Ethan Hyra,
Just hold, let's just get up, yeah.
the fullback.
What position do you
That is Slabbert now, who's got a scrum cap on, Freddie Slabbert.
He's off the bench, so that's 4, 5, and 6 injured for Glenwood already in this match, and they've got one of their substitutes injured as well.
You talk about that, and you think there's lots of this Easter festival that's going to be happening after this. So
very true.
Quick turnaround for the young man.
Glenwood actually have 6 matches in the next 14 days. They will be hosting their own festival, the Glenwood Rugby Festival, while Maritzburg after this match, will be heading off to the prestigious St. Stithians Festival.
Oh, Rondebosch will be there. Bishops will be there. Are you coming through?
Wherever Rondebosch is, Tobani Bobo is as well.
You can come and support St. Andrews. St. Andrews will be there.
Listen, I represent many schools, Tobani. I represent the nation. I'm a man of the people.
That's a good thing that you are.
It's getting onto a stretcher now, Hoyer. We do hope that he is in all right condition. Of course, the best of medical care being offered here, as you can see, surrounded by professionals.
Yeah, it's all precautionary, and it's a good thing that South African rugby is very important for them to uphold the box smart and making sure that the players play in the same age group and everything is taken well care of. So he will be fine. Let's talk about Conan Lafleur. Conan Lafleur, I talked about the combination that he has with Jonker, but it was Jonas who sort of drew and passed for him. And Jonker bringing a 10 now, showing us so much skill. And Lafleur showed the pace. Look at our celebration of Derek Harberg at the back there. And that's just to take the score to 25.
He's got the build of a blindside flank, Conan Lafleur. But he runs like a backline player without a doubt, and he certainly tackles like a flank. That much is for sure. It's not the channel that you want to run down.
Slavitt has left the field. And Aaron Leroux.
Now Slavitt continues to receive treatment.
Oh yeah, a bit of a clap there for Ethan Hewer, the fullback from college. It's all in precautionary, taking out the player with the stretcher, making sure that all protocols are observed. Godspeed, my son.
As a result of all of that, we have a scrum down now to resume this match. 45 minutes gone, which is 10 minutes into the second half. The pick up from the back. In fact, the clock should not have stopped during that whole time. We do not stop the clock for schoolboy rugby. One of the rule changes from the other rugby you'll watch on your World of Champions, and a knock-on coming from Maritzburg. Desperately disappointing for the crowd on the far side there. You could hear them all groan as one, as yet another attacking opportunity goes a-begging.
That's a sad one. Dropping that ball, feeling the pressure from the defensive line. Glenwood haven't been putting too many numbers into their ruck, so that in that way they've got filled coverage, and their players are coming up straight on and flat. They can make big, strong tackles. They're staying square up. As it is on attack, it is on the defense. It's all about attacking that space.
Crouch. One. Bind. Sit.
Hendricks at defeat. You can see the height difference between himself and Sema Mane is significant. Very tall scrum half, Hendricks on the inside. Glenwood, that's their big number 14, Jean Roux, and there's numbers on the left again. There are always numbers available to Glenwood. Clearly now, clearly employing the footwork, and he seems to have plenty of it. Knocked into touch by a Maritzburg player. That was Nkondo Khadebe. Have not seen much of the young lad today, as the Maritzburg backline has been heavily restricted by the amount of possession and territory that Glenwood have had.
Man to the ball. This is good defense from Nzimande. He uses the touchline. Oh, he lets him know about it after that. Possession all with Glenwood. Maritzburg have come back pretty well in the second half.
Certainly a far better performance in the second half than the first for Mansburg in terms of territory. And once again, Ronald Lafleur feeds a perfect lineup for Glenwood, as we have yet more injuries, this time to a Mansburg player in back play. But on we go, Conan Lafleur, double try scorer here this afternoon, after being denied too early due to forward passes, and gaps are being found in the Maritzburg defense once more. Charging away is Glennie! Glennie's gonna make it over the line! Glenwood score again!
All right, Elliot gets the third try for Glenwood. It was good work from the two loose forwards. This is Lindokuhle Lutuli, who seeks out for his outside paceman. Sianda Kele gets over for the try with Zimando on his back. Free attacking play from Glenwood. And you can see with the scoreboard. And it's been long-range tries that they've been scoring. And good work between the two loose forwards to put away their winger. And Sianda Kele took it with aplomb.
It's always the loose forwards doing the important work, isn't it?
Definitely.
Well, that's at least what you tell them.
Oh, it's always selfless.
Everybody loves a loose forward. This is Jaden Hendrickse with yet another opportunity. He's had a great afternoon with the boot. He's having some more trouble from this side of the field. The breeze is slightly blowing in the favor of Maritzburg in this half, and perhaps that's pushing the kicks out to the right.
That's a good work from Lozolo to put Lutuli away. Look at this, drawing and passing, finding out his left winger. And Ele finishes it off with Zimando on his back.
He'll be very troubled with the amount of gaps that are being found in the Maritzburg backline just after a couple of movements. This is Collier. Back underway again. We are falling just before the 22-meter line. Those kicks have been losing some height over the course of the match, not giving the Maritzburg players as much opportunity to put pressure on Glenwood. As you can see, once again, they have numbers on the blind side. It's almost as though Maritzburg are playing with a yellow card. They have defenders sunken into their own half, and it's causing them huge problems. This is Luzolo wrestling his way to the ground, immediately onto the attack. Glenwood making their way up the field far too easily. That's a great handle, finding his way through is Lutuli, the man who set up the try for Klele just moments ago. Hendrickse.
Good work in the breakdown there from College.
Holding on.
Finally turning over the ball. You get something from that. Lutuli has really shown up prominently with the ball in hand.
That he has. Showing a turn of toe as well, Tlumani.
Oh, took the ball into contact. Tackle around it from Gary Lessier. And the work from his lock partner, Wandi Leshotte. All over the ball, getting a bit of help from Matthew Willemse. Oh.
Okay. Just hold, you got a plan, it's going to be in your channel.
Lundokuhle Lutuli.
They certainly come to the fore here in the second half.
Oh, another injury for College. Jacques van der Walt, the inside center, limping off.
The man who scored the only points for Maritzburg this afternoon, a 5-pointer in the first half. Really the first opportunity Maritzburg got. To the back of the line they go again, but the line out for Maritzburg has left plenty to be desired. Very easily stolen once again by Glenwood, and they're sending it down the line through Jonker, but that has been knocked on after going through the hands of JC Conradi. Well, everybody just kicking out of the ball now, waiting for the whistle to be blown. It's not the kind of thing that the coach will like. He'll remind you about that on Monday.
Well, play to the whistle. The referee doesn't blow the whistle, you carry on. Olchin comes in for Van der Walt. Oh, Bryce. Oh, he just really had much ball in that second half. Like you say, it's the whole game. College, let's see what the backs can do. Scrums have been tough.
Scrums have been very tough for Maritzburg. They've found a method of getting the ball to the back, and they do just that this time. But as you can see, the pressure is heavily applied by just one Glenwood player. Maritzburg immediately again on the back foot, unable to try out a set-piece maneuver. All of the momentum has been thwarted by Glenwood, who can get the ball back, and that's Martin van Veek. And they send it to the left again. Will it appear once again that there are gaps galore in the Maritzburg back line? It does, but this time the pass is forward. The third time that Conan the Flow has been stopped in his track by a forward pass when they were just getting ready to set Klele away. Once again on this left-hand side, what is happening with the Maritzburg defense?
They're always getting pulled in because they're putting so many players closer to their rack, and that way they're creating so much space on the outside. It's something that they have to look at in terms of technical defensive. They have to get a bit more width within their play. Players can cover the width span of their arms if they put them out, and that's where you can get spacing across the field.
I would agree. Go on it.
No worries, I'm here for.
Bind. Sit.
The defensive line of Mansburg has been struggling, but they have ball in hand, breaking to the blind now. Inside ball from the man who throws into the lineouts, Brendan Nell. Second team last year, he's made the step up to first. Charging into contact that time, Spa Dube. Went to the academy week last year.
Step back, Green.
It's another good run by Miervasa. Slowing it down with Simamane. Gets it away. It's Collier down the back line, but the pressure is on. And that ball is knocked on by Enele Zimande.
Scrum green ball.
Well, college needed a bit of depth on their play. They had one man to beat with a 3 on the outside. You can see LeFleur is the last defender. Getting that ball to the man onto the outside would have been a key and a better decision-making for Matthew Willemse. But they decided to go for Anelin Zimande, who had the pressure from Conan LeFleur. He's seen what he's done to his prop. He wasn't going to ask questions.
He's going to step and take the outside gap against LeFleur.
Bind. Sit.
As a cool breeze blows over Goldstone's field. Hendrickse sends it to Jonker. JC Conradi cutting through the line, but that ball has fallen loose as it's gotten to the hands of Jean Roux. Back into Maritzburg's hands. An advantage will be played for a scrum down to Maritzburg.
Backwards.
Looks like a man jumped out of the way of the contact there. Dagon Miervasa.
Leave Green.
Maritzburg still in possession of the ball. They'll send it to the left again. Not a great deal of numbers there, but they do get men in motion. That's a good aggressive running from Matthew Willemse. Still advantage to Maritzburg. Inside ball, not a lot of support. And here's Simon Mane in a touch of space. Still no support for the man. Struggling to commit numbers to that side, but that is commitment. Diving onto the ground for the ball. Just no consideration for the integrity of one's own body there. That's schoolboy rugby. You put it on the line for your friends, for your teammates, for your school.
Ball on the inside. Masimani looks to take on the man on the outside. Had to check it out, changing the ball in hand. Again, not getting that momentum they needed. It's a Glenwood line out. And they've changed the hooker to Mark. Jacques Tayson will be taking over from Ruan Olivier.
So Pretoria's coming on for Conradi at Glenwood, and the line-out from Glenwood continues to work like a dream in spite of the change. Tayson continuing the good work of Ruan Olivier. Glenwood want to run it from depth here. They have the capacity to do just that. Jonas sends it off to Tlele again. Tlele with one man in front of him. Great support from Glenwood. Jonker not happy with the decision that Tlele made, but not many options on his table, to be honest, besides the grubber. The Glenwood attack continues. They are full of confidence. They're running at everyone who's in front of them. Jean Roux cutting right back into where all the scrum players from Maritzburg were.
Captain.
Offsides from Maritzburg, penalty to Glenwood, who continue to grow in confidence in this, their first match of the 2018 rugby season.
Penalty here, red offside.
Again, finding lots of space. Jonas does well, drawing and passing. And it had the man looping around, wanted to create that space for him. Jonker, you could see the space in front of him. And after that, because they breached the gain line, offsides was the retreating pack for Maritzburg College.
Attacking line out for Glenwood now. This is Jacques Tayson. To the front, no contest from Maritzburg. It has been chalk and cheese between these two lineouts today. Glenwood's working absolutely magnificently and Maritzburg struggling desperately. To the right now, looking for the interception.
Lost.
To have been caught in an uncomfortable position. The Maritzburg player who you can see on the ground now.
It's Radebe.
Radebe and Kondo Radebe. Hendrickse.
Advantage for the knock is over.
Well, good pressure there from the scrum half's pass. Hints of offside though. And Brandon Nell is the man who picks it up for Maritzburg, capitalizing on the scrappy play. Sima
Hands in the
Mane.
ruck there.
Tap and go from Sima Mane. He sees that the Glenwood players have not retreated. Sima Mane, he sees a gap on the outside. Will he go inside and outside again? Good step, Sima Mane! Oh no, he's knocked it on at the last. He did all the hard work, but Sima Mane just could not get the ball over the line.
Okay. The tackle into touch, are you happy with the tackle?
Got his footing onto the touch too.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll encourage this as a coach. It's good to see a young man taking initiative. And he took a quick one, the inside-outside. Pity where he had the ball because he could not hand off. And it's a great defense from Jonas, who used the touchline as an extra defender. Gondlo has decided to join us at outside centre. Gondlo Khadebe, the 13.
All sorts of changes today. That is a very scrappy line-out, falling onto the side of Maritzburg, but dropped cold by Smooth Pinkeni.
Yeah, no advantage under pressure. Lost forward.
Haven't seen much of the young lad today. He's been hard at work defending Glenwood from getting over the Mansburg line.
Oh, Pinkeni. If we could replay that, it was slowing it down a bit. Made full advantage of getting a fortuitous pass and a bounce for them. The lineouts haven't gone well. They've lost 5 out of 7. The scrums have been going backwards, so the dominance of the physicality of the Glenwood is very apparent.
Very difficult to play rugby under those conditions.
Let's get up.
As our referee Damien Varney comes to the side, which is problematic in the scrum. But for Maritzburg, all the sides have been problematic in the scrum so far this afternoon. They've done well to secure their own ball regularly.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
Basheridge has been sorely underemployed this afternoon, but Sima Mane! He's broken blind and he's over the line for the try. There go those bashers flying in the air.
Well, back in the day for the old boys, they used to put a string on your basher so that he can pull it back.
And now they just use Harry Potter magic.
Well deserved here from Sima Mane. Breaking onto the blind side, knowing that there's no pressure around for the scrum off. You chose to go with the will. Bravery was awarded the try and the fortune.
2 tries last weekend for Sima Mane in their victory over St. Charles for Maritzburg College. And he's picked himself another this afternoon. He's had a great afternoon. And this is Collier looking to reduce the deficit. It's a good flat kick from Collier, and he raises the flags. Might as well throw those bashers one more time. Oh, joyful noise coming from across the field.
Good work from Pilalane, Smimane, picking up with the will. Quick ball, there's a quick heel. Opportunity in the space in front of him, he attacked it. It's a good try for the college.
It's the man who's very much carried the initiative for Maritzburg College this afternoon. And he looks to be a great talent, Sima Mane. Just a wee man, but he's got plenty of heart. Hendrickson gets us restarted. That looks to be a great kickoff. Plenty of time for the Glenwood players to push up. And the man pushing up the most is their number 10, Jonker. He is a player who plays with a full heart. He's not afraid to be involved in defense and attack. You can see how dirty his kit is. Usually you'll see a number 10 looking far cleaner than that, but Jonker really gives it his all.
No kid shaming here.
Come on, keep it up, keep it up.
I don't discriminate against the clean kits, Tovani.
Nah, don't be that guy. It's all about player management. If you don't have to go into a ruck, you don't have to.
Captain, we're inside the 22.
These are the lessons that the backline players are taught that are never shared at the forwards.
It's all about good decision making.
Bind. Sit.
And the forwards, they don't tell you about decision making, they tell you to get stuck in, and that's exactly what Glenwood do to that scrum, driving Maritzburg backwards, but they get it back as quickly as possible. And here's the man who has risen back up from his injury, Nkondlo Khadebe, running at Glenwood from within their own 22-meter line. It is the time for that. Time is ticking away on the clock. Less than 8 minutes remaining in this match. 35 minutes per half. Trouble now for Maritzburg, slightly isolated, but they've got enough players there, using a lot of their players to secure the ruck ball, while Glenwood spread from the ruck to make sure that there's no holes in their back line. And the Mansburg back line has barely seen any ball this afternoon. And therefore, they've not scored many tries. 30 points to 12 it remains. Jacques Thiessen, can he continue his 100% record? He can. No contest again, and Lutuli takes it at number 2. Another man who's had a wonderful game. Knock on.
Lost forward, scrum red.
Fortunate, some miscommunication there from Glenwood involving Martin van Wyk. Scrum down, Maritzburg.
Martina van Wyk looking for a short ball here for Luzolo. You can see the ball, as it came off his hand, it was going down already. Not really a pass.
No, we'll play. He's behind us.
There was no conviction in it. Martina.
It does seem like one of those situations where the move has been called and it's not quite working out, but you still make the pass. Sometimes it's just best to hold the ball in that situation.
Crouch! One! Bind! Sit!
Sima Mane feeds for Maritzburg, who move forward on this occasion in the scrum. Once again, employing the boot is Keegan Collier, driving Glenwood back, but that will bounce over the try line and is going for the dead ball line. All the way over. Unfortunate for Collier. He's asked to do a lot of work with the boot. Most of it is precision. That time, he got his radar slightly wrong. That's going to be a big turnaround for Glenwood. Scrum right from where he kicked the ball.
It's going to be scrum down, ball's gone dead. Scrum down, green ball.
It's a great position here for Glenwood. You can split up the pack, the backline players, and can attack either side. Preferably you want to play with your 8, 9, and then you add on your fullback, depending on how the opposition defense sort of aligns. At the moment, Jonas seems to be struggling with the calf.
Bind!
Who's the fullback for Glenwood?
Okay. Both of you, please. Let's get it straight to bind, because both of you are on each other's arms. You guys are pulling the scrum down. I need you two to keep it up for me. It's been good the whole game.
Now referee Damien Varney just explaining something to the front rows again. He has got these scrums working very well after some early problems. And after some substitutions, there's often some late drama at scrum time.
Bind! Sit!
Right now, Glenwood.
Hands on the scrum, yeah.
Hand coming in from Glenwood, thinking about the quick tap. But there's a long way to go down the field if you're going to tap and go on your own this time. Sima Mane thinks better of it. Collier finds a good touch once again.
The scrum, you can see the ball get stuck from the hook. And at the end, couldn't stop himself was Aaron Leroux.
Oh, it was a sneaky hand, a good hand in my view.
Oh, supposed to get away with if it was good.
True, true. Taking the time to send a thrower for this line out. Eventually the man comes trundling in from the back line.
So many injuries here for college.
As such, it is Mjevisa throwing into the lineout, which finally finds the man. Spectacular stuff from Maritzburg. It's been tough going in the lineouts, but that one was taken above the head, straight down the center. It was perfect. Sima Mane deciding left or right. Men are drifting off sides there, surely, from Glenwood. No effect on the play, so on we go, Mjevisa. And here they come charging down the touchline. Uru, captain of Maritzburg. The pass was forward. Well, it looked to be flat enough. But Mansburg continue to be frustrated this afternoon on their home field of Goldstones.
That's a good drifting and playing there, drawing the two-man. Early ball, please. Any opportunity there to let the ball go. And anyway, you get yourself into support. And you can see as Mjevisa put the ball in one hand, that sort of delayed his decision-making.
Positive attacking intent from Maritzburg.
Okay, it's not steady. It's not steady. Okay. Boys, it's the first time we've had an unsteady one now. Let's keep it stable. Let's get it going.
Steady.
Our referee, Damien Varney, giving the scrums opportunity to settle down and stop moving around and swaying before the hit.
Come, big one, boys, big one. Come, let's squeeze. Open up. Locks in. Gas it. Are you feeling it too?
Crouch! Finish up there.
Free kick to Glenwood, tap and go from Hendricks. We are back underway. No more nonsense at the scrum from referee Varney. He had seen enough, and play goes on. Less than 2 minutes to play in this Premier Interschools match, the first of the 2018 season. It has been an entertaining one. Glenwood have been on the front foot for the entirety of the game, and they continue to do just that. Lindo Kutle Lutuli has been a tower of strength in this Glenwood side, in open play and in the line-out.
He's stapling the ball. He's not making an attempt to steal it. Scrum, green going forward.
Interesting call. Interesting call from Damien Varney.
That's a great call. If you're going for the ball, you have to actually be intentionally trying to pick it up and turn it over. You're not just there to cover it up, because the tackle is made here. Look at Shopper's decision making. Goes past the ball and he just sits there. He's got the chance to lift himself up and get the ball back. Trying to milk a penalty.
It's a much easier way to make a turnover.
You're supposed to go for the turnover.
Crouch! Bind! Sit!
The scrum has worked out this time, just as I say that a free kick goes Maritzburg's way. And it's spotted by Varney, someone kicking the ball away.
On me, on me.
Sima Mane wanted to go quickly, and rightly so. 40 seconds remain. And Maritzburg would dearly love to give their crowd one more try to celebrate. That's not the way to get it done. Immediately going down to the midfield. Nkondlo Khadebe unable to hold on to that ball. And Glenwood should have the final opportunity of this match. Bitter disappointment for the man who was briefly down injured for a knee-on-knee knock. As you can see, the spirit has not left the Maritzburg boys. Listening to their singing.
Crouch! Bind! Sit!
Hendricks at defeat. Glenwood scrum being shifted somewhat, but it does come out the back, and those hands are fantastic. It's Jonas, the number 15, charging at them. Klele under pressure again on the touchline, puts boot to ball, and the ball rolls over the touchline.
Well, good shifting defense again from College. Have learned a bit from the first time. They're getting beaten on the edges at this time. They shifted nicely with the pass, shepherding the man to the touchline. Klele does well with the grabber. There's a ricochet from the College. They've got the ball.
Very fortunate for Klele. This is Jacques Thiessen. Short, it goes back to Thiessen. Then on the inside, another forward pass called. Doesn't like to let any of those forward passes go, referee Damien Varney. And he has been consistent in calling them.
There was a penalty in that line-out. One of the Glenwood boys actually did go over the line that was supposed to be the emergency line that sort of separates the teams together. Mr. Varney missed it.
There's plenty of dark arts that happen at line-out very often. It's very easy to get mixed up in all the ongoings. Glenwood almost had a good move pulled off there.
Crouch! Okay, let's get up, let's get up. Okay, he's not bound.
Give me your pants, Poppy. Give me your pants, Poppy. Come on, also, want your pants, come on.
Still resetting scrums past the 70-minute mark. It should be the end of the match, but the referee still has time left on his watch, and we will play until that time has elapsed.
Crouch! Bind! Sit!
Takes the time to call for the set, but the set is called. Sima Mane at the back of the scrum does clear. It's Collier, and you can see the defensive line of Glenwood is high speed and putting masses of pressure on the Maritzburg attack.
Well, they're playing North though now. That was a forward pass.
Well, yes.
Leave it!
In the desperation, Maritzburg were throwing a couple around there. Lucky to get away with it. Sima Mane, and they're going to have to run from their very own try line now. And even when they're in attack, it seems that there's two Glenwood players to every Maritzburg player that you see.
If you see in that ruck how many college players are in that ruck and how many Glenwood players
They
are in
commit
that ruck.
heavily, and this is going to be a try. They tried everything they could, Maritzburg, but it's a try that comes against them. And I think that is Dylan Pretorius.
Leave him, leave him, leave him, leave him.
Dylan Pretorius it is. Double blast on the whistle though. Let's take one last look. Trying to get out from his own line was Matthew Willemse. Capitalizing on that was Dylan Pretorius, a man who played Craven Week and was a threat to be was a threat of injury coming into this match. However, he is clearly healed up and he's able to score the final try of this game in the name of Glenwood. All sorts of players lying all over the field right now as the Maritzburg College players stand underneath the posts, waiting to be taken out of their misery. It's been a tough day once again for Maritzburg. It's been a long time since they beat the Green Machine. 2010, the last time it happened. 2 draws in between then and now are the best that they've managed to do. And Glenwood, once again, gained the ascendancy in this intercity premier interschools match. Over it goes from Reinhard Jonker, the impressive number 10 for the Green Machine of Glenwood.
Thanks very much, boys.
They have come down from Durban to Peter Maritzburg to the Goldstone Fields and laid waste to the Maritzburg side. 37 points to 5, the eventual score. 5 tries scored by the men from Durban and 2 from the men from Maritzburg. An impressive victory in this premier interschools match.